Hello and welcome to the Brenton podcast series. Following on from the session that we did with OpenPack last week, where we were looking at data, Industry 4.0 in the modern corrugated box plant. Today we're going to be looking at quality control systems specifically for corrugators. Mikko, thank you for joining me today. It's great to have you with us. Before we get going and actually start looking at the quality controls, obviously everyone knows that the big OEMs on corrugators, they're very much talking about process control. Can you explain to the audience what is the difference between process control and quality control?
Yes, thanks a lot. Yeah, that is a good question, because the main difference about the quality control compared to the process control is that in the quality control we are measuring some quality properties, so we will get some value. It can be the moisture, temperature, warp, washboard, whatever, and then we are controlling on that value. So we are changing process parameter based on that measured value and improving that quality and stabilize the process all the time. So that is this online measurement system is the key for the quality control system.
And obviously, when you start talking about quality control, you're looking at very specific data points. And obviously, with your company's background, obviously in the paper industry as well, we're talking in Industry 4.0 terms about data and connecting all of the lines of the process. So tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing to effectively link the paper mill through to the corrugator.
Yes, so we are in the big picture, and what we are doing already now with the customers, so that everybody knows that there is a lot of data in the paper making process, and nowadays that is not utilized, for example, corrugator at all. And now what we are doing, that we are including the quality data, online quality data measured in the paper machine, but also measured in the paper mill laboratory to each paper roll, which are then transported to the corrugator box plant. And then we are reading those values from each paper roll, and we utilize that information there in the corrugator process. So we are connecting those two processes now with the data.
So obviously, let's look at now. What are the key benefits of running the quality control system on a corrugator? Because obviously, it doesn't necessarily have to be a new corrugator. It's something that can be retrofitted to a machine that's 5, 6, 10 years old. What are the actual parameters? So what is being measured?
Yeah, so of course the typically what we are doing and what should be do, we know that the paper, it's the live material, and when fiber-based webs are processes in the paper machine or corrugator, the moisture is the main thing, and stabilizing the moisture into the process, it's affecting to the productivity and quality and waste level of the box plant. And now in what we have seen, that what are the main advantages, of course, it's clear that for example, the grade changed waste is typically decreased, because nowadays it's without the quality control system at the corrugator. There in the wet end part of the process, there is the paper reel change. And if there is the moisture difference between the old reel and new reel, papers are going through the process, and then at the stacker, operator sees that, hey, there is for example, the warp. And then he starts to make the manual action to change something in the process. But there is the very long delay from the wet end to the stacker, And now with the quality control system, we measure moisture there on the beginning of the process, and right away when we see the moisture change, we start to control wrap arms and stabilize that change. So basically we are that can proactively controlling the warp in the process, for example.
And would I be right in saying that also then will affect starch application, for example? Because if there's difference in the moisture levels in the paper, obviously you've got to consider starch as well, because otherwise that's having an effect on the warp of the board.
Yes, absolutely. So of course we know that the paper moisture is affecting how the starch is penetrated to the paper. So when we stabilize the moisture level in the single phases area where the glue is applied, it stabilizes the bonding process as well. And on the other hand, then there is the typical way nowadays to run the corrugator is that when the speed is going down, automatically they will add more glue to bring the moisture to the paper. But it can be do also with another device, for example, moisturizers, to add more water by moisturizer and not adding glue anymore. So it's that kind of full system with controlling the quality across the whole process.
So obviously the real net positive of all of this is obviously a consistent sheet, less warp. So there was an installation that you did recently at De Jong on their corrugator. What sort of feedback were you getting from De Jong in terms of how did that help the throughput in the converting department, for example?
Yes, so of course when there is the more online measurement, so it's like to open the operator's eyes, so it gives the insight and more data from the process, and it's bring to the new values, and the main benefits typically are the faster grade changes. So now when we are measuring the wet end, for example, we stabilize those raw material and moisture difference between the paper reels. We can stabilize those away, which gives the more constant quality after the corrugator, and which means that in the converting department, the speed of the converting machines is higher because the flat seat, and many times the main savings are coming to improve at converting plant runnability. So their output is higher, no need for the manual invention, and an operator doesn't need to go there and feed the sheets one by one to the machine. So also it's the safety issue. And then,
yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and then in the long run, what we have seen in our customers and installation, it's that kind of optimizing the process. So now we have learned that it's possible to, let's say, the downgrade the board, but keeping the same quality specs, so that you can, for example, you can use the very high quality test craft liner on the other side of the board, then very low quality test liner on the other side, and still keeping the final product quality as the same level. So that kind of longer run optimization of the products, that is possible. And of course as well, we know, and everybody knows, that when the grammages are going down, which is nowadays very hot topic, so decreasing the fibers, and when the grammages are going down, then needs for the quality control became more big issue, because then the measurement and quality control is really needed.
And also the obviously the hot topic for a lot of converters at the moment is inside outside printing. And of course, you know, on the corrugator for the last 100 years, we've never really worried about one side of the sheet because we were only printing on one side. You know, so how do these systems help? You know, the board plants that are now moving towards, you know, this printing on both sides of the sheet in a single pass?
Yeah, so of course that is I always when we are discussing that the customers that nowadays if there is no online measurement and quality control system, operators are running a lot of that kind of there is the differences between the shifts. So the morning shift is running the different way than the evening shift, and so when there is the control system which always working the same way, no matter is the day or night, then it stabilizes the process, and that kind of operator page mistakes, there is not anymore that much. And if there is the both side printing, of course, when the quality is as a shape of the board is more stable and more flat, then it's running through the process much more efficient way.
And obviously with these systems, and there is constant analysis, you know, there's an awful lot of data, a lot of KPIs that we're looking at. How should a board plant be using this data successfully? You know, what do they need to do with it?
Of course, there is the many way and there is no one way. So that's clear. But when there is we have seen that many times it's quite a long process. Now, when we install the system, for example, operators and the box plant first time see the reliability, the moisture values. And because they don't have the historical information about the moisture, they need to find and learn what is the correct moisture in the different process phase. And now there is coming to that kind of, for example, time to time, box makers can get some customer reclamations. And now when there is the online data from the process and they get the customer complaint, they can go to the database and see how that board is run and how to avoid that next time they don't have this quality issue. So that kind of learning from the process, learning from the data is what we are bringing now.
And you've mentioned several times now in your last couple of answers about operators. How essential is training in all of this? Because it's not just implementing a system, a measuring system on a corrugator. You've got to get buy-in of the operators, right?
Yes, absolutely. So this changes the way of working also in the Valmet, because typically in the, for example, paper machines, when we are selling the quality control system, customers are buying the second or third quality control system already. But now in the corrugator, everybody is buying the first. They don't have the understanding how the system is working, and so the operator training, and it's very, very important. And we need to explain how the moisture and temperature are affecting the process, and then what is the why the big thing is that kind of remote support. So we are utilizing heavily that kind of remote support. We have so-called Valmet Performance Center, where is all the time the specialist to help the operator if there is coming some issue. Operator can contact to us, and then we can support remotely. So therefore, of course, this startup phase is very important to train the people and operator, but after some months, there can come some situation that operator doesn't know what to do. So there there comes this remote support. And of course, this kind of pandemic time and Corona times, that is very important as well.
Well, Mikko, thank you so much indeed. It's been fascinating listening to you talking about the quality control systems for corrugators. So obviously in an age now where we're all looking at data, we're all looking at trying to reduce waste, we're trying to speed the setups in converting, obviously a really useful tool. So thank you so much for joining me today, and all the best.
Thank you.